What up, YouTube? Let's here. Thanks for visiting the channel. I appreciate that as always. Today, I just want to go over a few knives with you guys. I just want to kind of show you guys there's a lot of diversity in the knife world. There's something out there for everybody. And a lot of the knives that I have, I've got, standard versions or large versions. And then they've got smaller versions of the same knives, just to cater to different people, I think. And also, a lot of the times you get a different feel from a knife. Between a larger size and a smaller size, it can actually feel like a little bit of a different knife. So that also adds to the variety of the knife community, which there is an abundance at this point. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around how many different knife brands and knife styles are actually out there. It seems endless. There really is just something for everybody out there. So I'm starting kind of from least expensive to most expensive. I don't want to say cheapest to most expensive, because that indicates that the knives are low quality, which they are absolutely not. Even starting at the lowest point, the Rat 1 and Rat 2 are definitely extremely affordable knives, but they're still extremely high quality. These two knives would not be bad knives to start out with, or even to just go out and buy a Rat 1 and carry that for the rest of your life. I mean, the quality's there. It'll last you as long as you take care of it properly. The blade steel isn't the greatest. They do make it in D2, but mine is AUS 8, which, again, it's kind of a beater. It doesn't really matter to me what the blade steel is. I can sharpen it up pretty well, and I can cut phone book paper with this thing. So it will take and hold an edge for a while at least. If you beat the crap out of it, you have to sharpen it probably every time you use it, though. But anyway, like I said, I'm just going to go through these knives, kind of talk about them a little bit. This is going to be mostly for people that are brand new to the knife community. Most of these knives have been not necessarily beat to death as far as showing them off, but there's a lot of information on these things out there, and most everybody already knows about them. But like I said, it's for newer people, so hopefully somebody will see these and find at least one or two of them attractive, and hopefully that will help somebody with a buying decision. Go out and get one. So this is the Rat 1. This is the Rat 2. The Rat 2 is obviously a little bit smaller than the Rat 1. The reason that I don't like smaller knives is because I have very large hands. So it's kind of hard for me to get a full 4-finger grip on some of these knives. I can get the Rat 2, but it's pretty close. It doesn't really hinder me in using the knife at all, but I definitely prefer the larger version. It fits in my hand a little better, and you can use this area up here, which I do a lot, just to grip up on it, or just to choke up on it a little bit. But I feel a lot better doing that with this knife than I do with the Rat 2. So the next ones I have here for you, these are another budget brand. This is from Civivi, which is the budget brand for Wii knives. And this particular model is the Mastadon. The blade on this guy is quite large. It's a cleaver style blade. There's another knife in Civivi's lineup that looks just like these, called the I'm blanking on that one. So up to the Bull Mastiff. The only difference between the Mastodon and the Bull Mastiff is there's a fuller right here on the Bull Mastiff. And there's no hole at the tip of the blade. That's really the only difference. I got the Damascus version of this one just because I thought it was absolutely beautiful. I really, really love this knife. It's one of my favorites. It's got a good generous finger choil up at the tip of the top of the handle. So you can choke up on it, but you don't necessarily need to. I think that's more for control than for anything else. The handle's very generous in size, and you can get a full 4-finger grip on this guy, no problem at all, no matter what size hands you have. The Mini, on the other hand, is much smaller. I can use the finger choil, but it's pretty close. Definitely just a first knuckle. But I can get a full 4-finger grip on this one if I need to. Get the thumb up there for some control. This is something that I would carry just for, you know, everyday use, to use for standard stuff if I'm out in the backyard, you know, cutting limbs off small tree limbs and stuff like that. But this one here, I don't think that I would carry this in public too much, because that's just, it's way too big. I think it would intimidate people too much. But this is definitely a good quality knife. For the most part, they use G10. I think they have some micarta versions out there now, but I could be wrong about that. But if this is something that appeals to you, I think this is a $65 or $75 knife. So it's very affordable. The smaller one, I think, is I think it's around the same price, actually. I think it's 65 or 70 bucks. This one might be 85. But like I said, awesome knife, awesome user, good blade steel. I think these are D2. Or are they 8CR? Nope, I'm sorry. This is 9CR18 MOV. And this one obviously is going to be proprietary because it's got the Damascus blade on there. The next one on the list are the Kizer models. The Sheepdog XL, that's obviously not going to be preferable for people to carry. It's just a fun knife to have. It's just a big, chunky, huge slab of 154 cm on there. It actually cuts pretty well. It arrived razor sharp when I bought mine. This one is the brown micarta version. There's also versions that come in black micarta, and some G10 colors, green and I think black. Green and black, I believe, are the G10 colors for those. So this one's been reviewed quite a bit. Everybody knows about this in the knife community. But if you're new to the knife community, you've never seen this before, it's just a big old, you know, steel frame flipper with micarta handles or G10 handles and a huge, comically huge blade, which is, you know, you push the flipper on this guy and you can hear that puppy fly out there and the lock clang into place. So I absolutely love this knife. Now the much more practical version is the I believe this is a Vanguard Kizer. It's got black micarta with I think this is also 154 cm. Yes, this is 154 cm blade, but this one has an opening hole on it, which is very easy to use for the reverse flick. It's very easy to use for the thumb flick. You can slow roll it. There's a bunch of different ways to open this guy and use it. This is a great knife to use for EDC. It's the perfect size, perfect weight, and it slices very, very well. This one also arrived razor sharp, absolutely. Very sticky edge on this one. I don't have a pocket clip on this one. I've already discussed that with you guys in my last video. But it still, you know, lays in the pocket pretty well. It's not super thick, so you don't really notice it's there very often when I'm carrying this one. But I think, obviously, for the smaller version, this would be much more preferable to use on an everyday basis. Moving on here to the Spydercos, these are a little bit more expensive. These run between $160 and $200, and that's because the Manix 2 is a very popular, awesome knife that I have. This one is the lightweight version. I don't have a standard version yet, but I will shortly here. And this is the Manix 2 XL for people, you know, who want a little bit of a larger knife. This one actually was the first Spyderco that I bought. And the flipping action is awesome on this guy. It uses a ball bearing system for the lock. What you do is you pull back on this guy, and there's a ball bearing inside of here that locks up with a groove inside the blade. Very, very strong lockup on this guy. And then when you just pull back on this little switch here, there's one on each side. You pull back, and the blade will go back into the knife. This is very nice to carry. You don't even notice it's there. It's very thin, very light, very slicey. I mean, this thing will go through just about anything with absolute ease. Obviously, this one is quite a bit bigger, the XL version. This is S30V, and this one I believe is Spy 27. Yeah, CPM Spy 27, which I believe is a blade steel that's used exclusively from Spyderco. The Manix 2 XL is just a larger version of that. It's a little bit heavier, it's a little bit clunkier. This one does have the pocket clip, because if I don't have the pocket clip on there, I'm not able to get a hold of the knife enough to be able to close it. So again, these two are awesome. The smaller one obviously is a little bit easier to carry. The AD20.5 and the AD20S, which stands for Slim, are very, very popular knives as well. They're a little bit expensive. This one, I believe, was $260, and this is the Grivory version, which I dyed blue, and this one was $300. The actual larger one, the big boy, made in USA, that one I think runs close to $500 or $600. Not exactly a lot of differences between this one and that one, but it's a little bit bigger. The AD20.5 for most people is going to be the preferred carry knife, just because it's the perfect size, it's the perfect weight. But for me, it's a little bit small, so I prefer to carry the AD20S. They're both very easy to use. They flip open and close with absolutely no problem whatsoever. It's almost effortless to use this guy, and the sound that it makes is fantastic. It sounds great. It's the best sounding knife I've ever owned, for sure. Not really much else to tell you on these guys. This one is D2, and I believe this one is OS 10A. Yes, this is OS 10A, which people were kind of upset about when it first came out, but it's how they made it. If you choose to buy it, that's fantastic. If not, that's okay too. So the last ones that I have here are chaves knives. These are the 229. This is the street version, and that's what they call it. It's just smaller than the standard. And this is your standard 229. This one is in G10 and titanium on the back with the skull clip. This knife for me, honestly, almost too small to use, but I can get behind the thumb stud just enough to get it to open, and it opens very, very easily. This is one of the snappiest knives that I own, so that's why I like it so. One of the reasons I like it so much. This is the same, basically the same thing. It's just scaled up a little bit. It's not a ton bigger than the street version, but it definitely is bigger. You can tell it's more substantial in the hand. This one has a micarta show side, and the back is still titanium with the skull clip. It's got a PVD coating on it to make it black, and the blade has the same thing. These are super comfortable, but this is more of a sharpening choil than a finger choil. If you have real skinny fingers, you might be able to get in there with your first knuckle and use this. I can do it very, very carefully, but it's not safe enough for me to be comfortable doing it all the time. So, but the length of the handle is perfect. You can get a full 4-finger grip on it and just use this guy all day long. I don't think it would make my hand tired at all. So I think that's everything for now. Another thing I wanted to address with you guys, all my knives are very, very, very clean. Doesn't look like I use them at all. And I do. I use all of my knives. The more expensive ones, I use them a little bit more gently. But the less expensive ones, obviously, I can go out and beat the crap out of them. The difference is I'm completely neurotic about my knives. I have to clean them all the time. I spend a lot more time cleaning my knives than I do using them, which is why they always look so clean. So if anybody out there thinks that I don't use any of these, please, that's not true. Not true at all. I think that's everything that I have for you guys today. If you enjoy the video, please leave a comment or send me a message if you have any questions. Like and subscribe and pass along. I'm trying to grow the channel as quickly as possible. So I think that's it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and take care. Thanks. Bye.